Every year, hundreds of boaters unexpectedly fall out of their boat, either because of capsizing, loss of balance, or swamping. According to U.S. Coast Guard statistics, capsizing and falls overboard are the most common cause of boating fatalities. It's not that people get killed from falling out of a boat. It's because they do not have a life jacket on to keep them afloat while they attempt to get out of the water. It's for this reason that boaters should always wear a life jacket. To minimize capsizings, follow safe boating practices. Do not overload the boat. Follow the capacity plate rating for weight and maximum number of persons. Distribute the load of passengers and gear evenly, and do not lean over the side of the boat. Never anchor from the stern, and avoid boating in rough water or bad weather. To help prevent persons falling overboard, the operator of the boat should avoid making erratic movements such as sharp turns, quick starts, and sudden stops. The skipper should not allow any passengers to sit anywhere not specifically designed for seating while the vessel is underway. If you do fall overboard and don't have on a vest, get one and hold on to it or put it on. Even though it is difficult to put on a vest while in the water, it can be done. Try to get back into the boat, whether over the gunwale or the stern. Once the chest is partially inside the boat, kick your feet as if swimming, and at the same time, pull your body into the boat. If you cannot get into the boat, stay with the boat. If signaling devices are available, use them to attract attention. Attempt to get as much of your body out of the water as possible. If other passengers were in the boat when it capsized, make sure everyone is accounted for and assist them if you can. Attempt to maneuver to the nearest shore or shallow water. If a passenger falls overboard and you are the operator of the boat, follow these steps for retrieval. Note which side the person fell overboard and turn the boat to the same side. This action forces the stern and the propellers away from the person. Keep a constant eye on the person in the water and throw a flotation device to them. Approach the person by directing the boat into the seas or wind. Assist the person to the swim platform or lowest freeboard area of the boat. As you assist the person into the boat, stay as low as possible, either on your knees or with knees bent and feet spread well apart. Staying low and balanced helps prevent you from being pulled into the water as the person tries to get into the boat. Once the person is recovered, check that person for signs of trauma. A smart boater will periodically look into the bilge area of the boat to check for any signs of water which can enter a boat either through a hole, leaking gaskets, or a broken fitting or hose. If you experience flooding, don't panic, but do put on your life jacket. If the bilge pump is not turned on, turn it on. If you don't have a bilge pump, have someone start removing the water by any means that's available. Determine where the water is coming from. If you can fix the problem, do it. Drive the boat toward shallow water. Contact marine rescue personnel and let them know about your problem.
Coast Guard. Yes, hi. My boat's broken down.
Boaters who suddenly enter cold water will experience a dramatic shock to the body system, known as sudden immersion syndrome. The sudden plunge into cold water shocks the body system and may cause an involuntary gasp while underwater. Hold your breath and quickly surface. For the first minute, do nothing except self-survival. Focus on breathing, and once breathing is controlled, get out of the water if at all possible. The higher the body is out of the water, the better the chances of survival. Hypothermia is a life-threatening medical condition that requires immediate attention. If you can't get out of the water and are becoming hypothermic, one option may be to pull your knees into your chest to help warm the torso. Breathe slowly and try to relax, letting the PFD keep you afloat. The only way to stop hypothermia is to get out of the cold environment as quickly as possible and seek immediate medical attention. A boat fire is a serious marine emergency. You have only seconds to make a decision to fight the fire or abandon the boat. As mentioned earlier, you need a Coast Guard approved marine extinguisher with a BC rating for flammable liquids and electrical fires. At the first sign of fire, prepare to either fight the fire or abandon ship. Immediate action is essential. If time permits, radio or call for immediate assistance. If you decide to fight the fire, follow these steps. Attempt to stop the source of the fire at fuel lines or the electrical panel. Maneuver the boat so the prevailing wind helps blow the smoke or flames to the outside of the boat. When using a fire extinguisher, pull the pin, aim the extinguisher at the base of the flames, squeeze the handle trigger, and sweep back and forth into the flame base. And if the engine and steering are still functional, return to the nearest safe landing. Another common marine mishap is running aground. Running aground may happen even to the best mariner, but knowing how to navigate and having local knowledge of the area will greatly reduce the risk. The local boaters know where the hidden dangers lie, so ask them before heading out into a new area. There are different degrees of being aground. You can be hard aground, meaning you hit so hard that the hull embedded into the bottom material. The hull may be breached or the propellers damaged. Soft aground means you bumped the bottom or moved into a very soft type of bottom such as sand or mud. If you run hard aground, have everyone put on a life jacket and remain calm. Do not put the engines in reverse in an attempt to undo what has already happened. Assess the damage by checking all bilge areas for signs of water. If there are no obvious signs of structural damage, you have a few choices to consider. Is the tide incoming or outgoing? Will the tide be enough to refloat the boat? If there is no tide, determine if you can maneuver the boat out of the area, generally in the reverse direction, without causing damage. Determine if you need to contact local marine rescue, and if in doubt, call. Collisions with another vessel or submerged objects happen all too often, and are generally caused by lack of a proper lookout, not following the established navigation rules of the road, or excessive speed. Skier mishaps happen when hands or feet get caught in the tow line due to lack of communications between towboat operator and skier. Never operate too close to the shoreline structures, buoys, or boats, or operate beyond the skier's abilities. Always know where people are in relation to the boat. Shut off the engine when retrieving skiers or swimmers, and never let anyone bow ride or be in areas other than those specifically designed by the manufacturer. Always follow safe boating practices when engaged in water sports. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless, tasteless gas that can be toxic even in small quantities and is produced by internal combustion engines, generators, and other equipment commonly used by boaters. The effects of carbon monoxide can overcome people who are on and around boats. The symptoms of carbon monoxide are so similar to seasickness that a boater may not know they are suffering effects of CO. Recreational boaters need to be aware of carbon monoxide poisoning prevention. Every boater should take a first aid course, including CPR. Being able to provide minimum first aid may prevent you from having to cut short your boating day. If any of the marine events we just covered results in $2,000 or more in damage, a person requires medical attention greater than first aid, or if a person dies, the owner or operator must immediately notify the state boating authorities, and an accident report must be filed.